It's a video from the channel Think Before You Sleep. That's right, old friend of the show. I made a couple videos about this channel and I'm gonna keep doing it because I have a lot of fun. The video loosely centers around criticizing an ad campaign from the soap company Dove, which is Dove's real virtual beauty campaign, which focuses on inclusivity and representation for women in video games. The plan here is to go through his video and look at some of the arguments made in it. Arguments in support of his general thesis that this ad campaign is bad for various reasons, including the fact that it is part of a larger trend of wokeness in media, and wokeness is bad for various reasons. What does wokeness mean in this case? Well, we're gonna find out, I'm sure. Think Before You Sleep tends to jump around a bit in his videos, so I've ordered the arguments in a way that I think makes most sense for viewers. If you want to see his video though in all its glory, I've linked it below so you can go check it out to make sure I'm not misrepresenting anything. Okay, we're doing this again. Let's begin right now. So to start things off, this video is a little bit tough to break down because a lot of it is just Think Before You Sleep giving his opinions on stuff. These opinions are often generally unrelated to actual critiques of the Dove ad campaign. So for example, this clip.
Oh look, the ad comes with an article. We're bringing real beauty to the virtual world. Does the term beauty even mean anything anymore? Or is everybody just the same regardless of effort? You're all 10 out of 10s in mommy's eyes.
I forgot he sounds like this. A voice that only a mother could love.
Thanks for the participation trophy, Dove.
He thinks that these women are not hot. He does not think they're beautiful. They're definitely not 10 out of 10s. So the definition of beauty is here being perverted by Dove. But all of this relies on the assumption that beauty has some objective definition, which is an opinion. An opinion that happens to be very silly, but that's just my opinion. So we got a stalemate there. He later talks about how he went to an art museum with another anti-feminist YouTuber and that he didn't like the art. And then he takes a random shot at these YouTubers' thumbnails because he also doesn't like them.
There is so much crap in the frame that I have no idea what to focus on, but apparently a lot of anti-capitalist YouTube channels think that this style of art that has all the grace of a messy room looks good because a number of them use this ugly style of elementary school collage art to create their thumbnails.
Okay.
I'm up to here with people who don't know anything about art or art history talking about modern art. Not all art is for everyone, and that's okay. I have went into museums and I've looked at art pieces and I've been like, this does nothing for me. I've looked at sculptures that are very, very beautiful and I'm like, this doesn't invoke any emotion in me. I look at it and I feel very neutral about it. You know what I mean? I look at the plaque, there's nothing special on it. And then I keep walking, right? Or some classical paintings, I'm like, yeah, I mean, it looks good. It looks like it took skill, but it doesn't invoke anything in me beyond that. I don't look at a painting of George Washington and think wow, that's just, oh my goodness. But I have looked at some modern art that is not any, in terms of craft, anyone could make it, but because of the context and because the person making it, the way that they made it, why they made it, it becomes something more powerful, right? And if you walk into a museum and you look at everything in the museum and you don't like it, that's fine. You know what I mean? That's totally good. That's totally fine. It doesn't really matter. Art is subjective. Yeah, people love to pretend like art is not subjective. It's always been subjective. It always will be subjective. You don't choose which styles or stories fire off neurons in your brain. Yeah, exactly. I would compare art to music taste. You are not cooler or better for listening to hyperpop. You're more likely than not a Gen Zer, but that's about it, right? Or enjoying country. Or not enjoying country, or enjoying rock, or not enjoying rock. You know what I mean? If you like a specific type of music, you like a specific type of music. And you don't like a specific type of music, you don't. That's fine. That's cool. Okay? It's the same thing with art. If you go into a museum and you don't like the art you looked at, it's not that the art is bad, it's that you didn't like it. That's it. Any 100 geckers in here? God.
Okay, man, sounds good. Can't really do anything with that, though. Or this clip.
About a month ago, Dove came out with their latest body positivity campaign, by partnering with Epic Games and using the Unreal Engine to create 3D models of realistic women. Wait, this was done with Unreal Engine? Really? Why do all these models look like crappy World of Warcraft avatars from 2006? Dove has hundreds of millions of dollars, and this is the best they can come up with for their banner? I mean, there are YouTubers working by themselves on no budget making full AAA quality playable renders with Unreal Engine, while these renders from Dove barely break the PS2 era.
So Dove is a bad, lazy company because their graphics are worse than a Zelda animation that a YouTuber made with a fraction of the budget. The key word there is worse because, again, that's subjective. He's acting as if the objective barometer for a quality animation is that you need 10 RTX 9090s to render it. But these Dove animations were not created with that purpose of supreme 8K quality in mind. Also, I will say that to me, these just look like Fortnite characters, and Fortnite runs on Unreal Engine. I don't feel like they're that much different. But regardless, that's not what they're supposed to be about. They're about representation. So to someone who's interested in representation in games, the Dove animation would likely be better. Think before you sleep.
Also, the amount of like how many fucking pixels something has determining how pretty it is fucking bullshit. Like, I don't care if people disagree with me on this. I genuinely, you know, you live your best life, chat, okay? I think some of the most beautiful scenes I've ever seen in a video game have been from Undertale. If that makes me cringe, let me be cringe. Allow me to post cringe. Okay? And it's just a couple pixels. Or like, let's go another one. Let's go in a different direction. You know what's so beautiful? Like, I could like literally just stare. I could stare for hours. Stardew Valley Farm in fall. Stardew Valley Farm fall. Oh my god, it's so pretty. It's like it like cures my depression. I can feel my mental illness healing. It's like, and it's just pixel art. You know? Celeste as well. Like, you don't need more polygons and more pixels to make something look beautiful. Or to make something like engage you in a different way. Oh, you know what's another example? You know what's a big one?
Really out here throwing chat back 10 years by doing deep dives into the Onslaught and showing us Undertale stills. We're in the Tumblr nostalgia era, chat.
It's true, we are. You know what else? You know what else goes crazy? Oh no, wait, I forgot. I forgot what I was gonna say. Risk of Rain, dude. I don't know. Okay, I feel like this is a very uncontroversial opinion. Risk of Rain 2, some of the boss fights on the newer levels are so pretty.
Is not one of those people, clearly. And so, all right, we can't really say anything about that. It's just how he feels, and that's great for him. One last example.
Also, someone posted this. Recently, it's a quote from Sarah Roll. Recently, my son said to me, after seeing a ballet on television, it's beautiful, but I don't like it. And I thought, are many grown-ups capable of such a distinction? It's beautiful, but I don't like it. Usually, our grown-up thinking is more along the lines of, I don't like it, so it's not beautiful. What would it mean? What would it meant to separate those two impressions for art making and for art criticism? Big if true.
Example that I thought was kind of funny was him saying that because the reason he plays games is to escape reality, characters in games shouldn't be ugly because he doesn't want to insert himself into an ugly character.
Not to mention that video games are primarily about escapism, and if I'm playing a character, I want to play someone who is more attractive than me so I can self-insert and escape from my less glamorous life. Why would I want to fantasize about being ugly?
So he doesn't want to fantasize about being ugly. He wants to instead fantasize about being the juicy thighs, muscle mommy Chun-Li. That's fine, actually. I think that's totally fine. But once again, that's his opinion, right? That video games are primarily about one thing, the thing that he happens to care about. All right, so since the opinion...
Okay. I feel like I don't mean to post cringe. Just kidding. I only post cringe. I've only posted cringe and I will only post cringe.
You were not there. You don't exist. The things are not made for you.
Okay, I don't believe that statistic at all. Where did you get that number? Did you simply ask 3 of your British friends? Because there is no way that most British women are eternally offended snowflakes who care about that kind of stuff.
So this is the Opinium Women in Gaming survey from early 2021. It was a survey of about 1,400 United Kingdom gamers age 18 and over. And one of the key findings here was that 69% of women felt that their need
69. I'm not mature enough for this. 69. Wait, give me 1 second, chat. 1 second.
needs to be more female characters in video games in general. The 2/3 statistic that Dove shows here, that is from this survey. And here you might say, well, Noah, Dove didn't cite where they found that statistic on the screen, so a viewer of the ad would have no idea where to search to confirm its validity. And well, firstly, Think Before You Sleep is not just a viewer of the ad, he is a YouTube journalist, let's call him, with a big audience that's making a video that critiques this ad. All he had to do was a single Google search with some relevant terms to find this survey. It took me 10 seconds. It's really not that much work, but he didn't do it, which, you know, that's
lazy. This is completely lazy.
Sorry, I just wanted to use that clip. It's a great sound effect. I think it's
lazy. It's completely lazy. God, he hits it so hard, bro.
fun.
Lazy. Later
in this video, Think Before You Sleep makes an argument about another statistic from the Opinium survey, arguing that the statistic must be bullshit because some people online didn't like it.
Where exactly did you get that stat? This time it says 74%, so on this occasion, they would have had to survey at least 50 people. That's more than 3, but what do they do? Survey the office? How exactly did they ask the questions in the survey? Because there's no way that much of the general population agrees with this woke narrative, considering that in places like America...
Thank you for being a part of my morning's Denim Shy, Denim Love, Denim Wiggle.
Oh, thank you, Ziltoy. Thank you so much.
half the population are conservatives who don't care about this, and tons of liberals are anti-feminist too. So there's no way you got a vast majority on this one. The proof being that you had to censor the comments on the video.
So his proof that the
See, I can tell that I'm smart because you had to turn off the comments. It can't possibly be that, like, incels found the video and, like, Gamergate dumb fucks found this video and they're downvoting it and posting a bunch of negative comments. My proof, here it is. The proof is in the pudding, as they say.
general population isn't with the wokeness is that the comments were turned off on one of these Dove animations. Now, let's just ignore the fact that this channel actually has comments turned off on all of their videos and just zoom in on the likes counter where we can see that it has 500 likes and over 16,000 dislikes. That's 99%. That's a pretty wild statistic, right? If you do a survey on a topic, it's very rare to see a figure like that, 99%. This isn't exactly a controlled experiment though, is it? There's a pretty important uncontrolled variable here, which is that hundreds of rabid anti-feminist YouTubers all made the same video talking about how the Dove ad is dumb and bad because it's woke, which might have some influence on the type of people that end up seeing the ad, given that the ad was only really talked about online by these anti-feminists. Just a thought there, you know? All right, so let's look at another one of his arguments here, and this one regards the topic of character customization.
That, and the fact that the people who made this ad clearly don't play video games, because there are plenty of them out there with extreme levels of character customization, and it's been that way for a while, as I remember that in Phantasy Star Online from over 20 years ago, you could customize your character to be a short person of size.
I don't look like that. Not everyone looks like that. A character that looks like me in a video game and be like, yo, this baby's fire.
Yes, you can do that. If you want to create an albino character with red hair in a game, that's possible. Please, Dove, tell me more about how things that already exist in video games don't exist.
So he's correct in pointing out that plenty of games offer character customization.
Let's talk about a couple of things. First of all, there's a handful of games that will allow you to do character customization. Second of all, even in cases where there is character customization, a lot of character customization falls really short. There are very, very, very few games that like have good character creation. Like they'll have like you can change the face and the skin tone and the hair, but the body type isn't customizable. It's like, how big do you want the boobies? Because we have a boobie adjuster. You can make the character taller. And that's it. Like those are the two body options that you have. Or even like one of the people in that Dove commercial is disabled and is in a wheelchair. There's no fucking wheelchair option in most fucking video games. It would be nice to just have some games have characters like that. That's it. We're not saying like, hey, where are the wheelchair characters in like Assassin's Creed? It's just like, yeah, it'd be cool if we saw it sometimes. That's it.
He shows a couple, one of them is from 20 years ago, and one current game where he even recreated the albino woman from the ad. At least I think he did that. And if so, you know, nice. Putting in some effort. We love to see it.
Lazy.
The question one might ask from this point, though, is that if that's the case, if these games already exist and have for 20 years, then why do women still feel underrepresented, as the survey showed? And I know he didn't read the survey because he didn't Google the survey, but I feel like that's an interesting question to ask regardless, right? Just to give my own thoughts on it. Generally speaking, I feel like gamers play games that they want to play. How they decide on what those games are is multifaceted. Maybe they have friends that play them, or they find them in game stores, or they grew up playing similar games, they see advertisements, and so on. The stat we have shows that even though women are choosing the games they want to play, probably, I don't see why they wouldn't be, other than maybe League of Legends addiction, the games they're choosing do not have.
This is way funnier when you know the context that Noah's like a hard stuck silver player. And a hard stuck silver Teemo player. The sick fuck. The absolute sick bastard. Thinks he's calling us out. He's calling out women who play League. No. I'm calling you out. Okay, get it right, bitch. I'm a Chad Nautilus player that only goes in, okay? I press Q, I landed, and people die. Alright. That's right. It's actually great. I actually love playing not bot lane with Oxy, because she plays Tristana, and anytime I say I'm going in, she always goes in with me. It's so great. I love her. I love her so much. We're just like, I just tell her, I'm like, okay, ready? Okay, I'm going in. And then she always goes in. Makes me cry, my ADC. And they blow up immediately because they can't move because they're too busy getting CC'd to fuck. Anyways. Oh god, I want to play. I wonder if she's free. Anyway, what was it? Yes. Right. My League addiction.
The representation that women feel is adequate. And so unless you want to push women to play games they don't want to play just because those games have character customization, then one pretty reasonable solution here would be to push for inclusivity in all games. Just because it's currently available doesn't mean it's adequate, and clearly, according to the statistics at least, it's not. So there's still a need for some change. That change could very well be having customization offered in more games, and one way to push for that is to increase awareness that would help. Kind of like what Dove is doing with their ad campaign, which of course is not only
Use
about
your prime
that.
if you
Dove
are
is a
a
soap
enjoyer.
company.
Chun Lai thanks you. Also, hell yeah, stream is back. Best part of my day, white people happy.
Naomi, thank you for the dono. Thank you.
They are trying to sell soap, but this campaign does obviously represent a large-scale media push towards inclusivity, which is a good thing on its own. Don't throw the inclusivity out with the soap company's exploitation that doesn't actually ring as well as the baby bathwater version.
There's a secret fat snacks agenda. Oh god. Oh, one second, chat. I'm gonna grab a quick little snacky. I'm gonna grab a quick little snack. I'm gonna be fat really quickly. I'm gonna get some fat snacks. Oh yeah.
All right, so the next thing I want to look at is Think Before You Sleep's arguments about fat people. He makes the argument that the body positivity in this ad campaign isn't about accepting all forms of unconventional beauty. It's really just about fat acceptance.
There's a second part to this Dove campaign where they decided to feature one of the models in her own commercial. Now, looking at this cast, if we're trying to promote body positivity, We have several people here who look a certain way because of how they were born, or they're in a situation that's no fault of their own. There's Sam, who is in a wheelchair, Lily, a woman with Down syndrome, and Coco, a woman with a skin disease that caused her to lose her pigmentation. Surely these women are all great choices to promote self-acceptance in the face of a situation that you can't change. Nope, Dub picked the obese woman.
He goes on to play an animation from this campaign that features Cynthia, a fat woman, as a video game superhero lady. And then he says this.
Are we still going to gaslight people into thinking that body positivity has anything to do with being compassionate and understanding towards people who are victims of unfortunate circumstances? I hope not, because obviously it's all just a fat acceptance narrative and a way to enable food addicts.
I'm sorry, can I just say something really quickly? I didn't like the way that he said skin disease. Talking about people who are albino. I know I'm like 5 seconds late on that, but the way he said it just... You know? I just didn't like that. I just didn't... I mean, to be fair, I don't like the way he says anything. But... Second of all, I'm so tired of this, like... Let's just break down a couple things really, really fast, really fast. I'm tired of this idea that, like, oh yeah, well, fat people, they can just lose weight, okay? Someone who's in a wheelchair is not the same as someone who is fat. And it's like, okay. The problem is, I don't see any disabled people complaining about this. I just see you upset about this. Which is weird. It's weird for you to be offended on their behalf. You know? And also, no one is saying it's the same. No one is saying that being fat is the same as being disabled. Or is the same as being albino. Or is the same as anything. Like, no one is saying that. You know? Okay. Third, we literally live in a country that has gigantic food deserts. Where people rely on eating junk food and trash. Like food that's not good for you. It's like really, really processed food. People are not eating fresh fruits and vegetables and stuff. Like weight is almost not even, it's almost out of their control at a certain point. Because they're so busy trying to make sure that they're actually eating anything. That they can't afford to figure out how to eat better. Okay? Let me pull up this one really terrible. What's his name? Ian Miles. Ian Miles Chong, you guys know, the fucking weird Nazi fuck. He tweeted out this like video of like, was it a quote tweet? I don't remember. It was a video of like a woman just showing what she eats in a workday. I don't know if anyone knows what I'm talking about. And he was just mad because she was fat. That was it. That was the entire thing. And I was busy working and doing a bunch of other random shit, so I didn't tweet about it. But, oh my God, this fucker tweets so much. I'm never going to find it. I'm never going to find it. If you guys can find it, please let me know. Please let me know. Okay, yeah. Please let me know if you find it. I had more issue with the fact that she was eating food that wasn't good. Like she's eating like chips and like more chips and then like processed meals and frozen food. And it's like, man, that sucked. We really should have a country. We really should live in a better country where you don't have to eat processed food and food that's like in bags for every single meal. You know what I mean? Hi, Danger. I'm shocked that the brain disease Nazi said some stupid shit. I know, right? Okay. I think we're good. I think we're good. I'm on my feet all day. I forget to eat often and I'm still plus size. Also, I'm okay with being plus size. Not every plus size person would want to magically become skinny if they could. Yeah. Good food is also really expensive. Yeah. I mean, like, dude, when you walk into the McDonald's, a fucking, or even better, a 4 for $4 or a 5 for $5, the biggie bag or whatever from Wendy's, you get a sandwich, you get fries, nuggies, and a shake, technically a Frosty, which is better, for $5, or you can get a quinoa salad for $15.
health issues and their appearance.
Okay, so first off, the other women, the ones he has deemed worthy of being body positive, they are in the ad. They're in the ad. See, there they are, talking, standing. There's them again doing gaming stuff. They're just not in the other ad, the animation. The fact that they made a separate animation that features a fat woman doesn't remove the other women from the first ad. There's 2 ads. They're still there. The first ad even includes similar animations. No one is being gaslit here, other than Think Before You Sleep's audience, I guess, because they're both still there, they're included. His real problem here is that fat people were included in this campaign at all. He elaborates on this a little bit later, and this one's just great. More investigative journalism, uncovering a conspiracy that Dove actually did this campaign to make you buy.
No, I only drink zero sugar. I only drink zero sugar beverages, chat. I'm not going to go on a tirade about being healthy and then be drinking fucking sody pop. I think this is base, chat. If you really do like your sody pop, because I'm gonna be honest, I'm addicted. Have sody pop instead. Have zero sugar sody pop instead. It's just water is still better for you, you know?
Buy ice cream.
In a previous video, I said that the owners of Dove, Unilever, had a vested interest in fat acceptance because they own Ben & Jerry's ice cream. I have to apologize for that statement because it was extremely inaccurate. Unilever actually owns 5 different ice cream brands. They own a popular mayonnaise brand, they own Popsicle, and they sometimes partner with Nabisco to make good humor versions of Oreos. These make up most of their food brands, and the remaining ones are still pretty much processed junk food. So is it a surprise that they would use their soap company to promote an ideology that causes people to buy more junk food like ice cream?
Oh,
No,
dude,
it can't be.
He's so close to getting it. Oh, he's so close. You're so close, bro. Come on.
About that. It's about over-sexualizing women.
Okay, he's jumping to the next thing again. We got to stop him here. The first thing to notice here is that Think Before You Sleep is pulling a little trick on you. He's doing a gag and a goof on his viewers. He calls what Dove is doing promoting an ideology that allows you to buy more junk food.
To promote an ideology that causes people to buy more junk food like ice cream?
This is a trick because in doing this, he is grouping this specific ad campaign in with some vague notion of a fat acceptance ideology, which allows him to then criticize that ideology, the totally vague one, through the medium of this campaign without actually addressing the content of the ad. In order to see how he does this, I think we should rewind a bit and actually watch the animation that he's talking about to see if his reading of that animation actually supports what he's saying here, that it's pro-junk food propaganda. Is the secret agenda to put cookies in your mouth actually there? Let's find out. So the character here, Cynthia, after defeating this goblin guy, whatever he is, he's like an ice Balrog, she goes back into the dressing room, she takes her armor off, and when she does this, it reveals that she is actually fat. And the armor was constraining her body, forming her into a slimmer figure, one that's the default among traditional sexualized female video game characters. Once her constraining armor is removed, she can relax. She is comfortable. She sits on a chair, she kicks up her feet. Clearly, this is something that she prefers. Then, when she's back up to film, she decides to stay that way, to not fit back into her tight, uncomfortable armor, the armor her producers likely make her wear, but to go out how she wants to and feel good doing it. Then she goes off onto the set looking much happier than she did before. So where in this ad is there some push to get you to buy junk food? Where could that be drawn from? Is there a candy bar? Is there a big sign saying buy Nabisco?
You see, Noah, she doesn't feel ashamed for being fat, which means that a bunch of thin people are going to go and buy a bunch of ice cream to get fat. Because, don't worry about it. Just don't worry about the details. We're still ironing them out.
Products. Is Cynthia sitting down to crack open a nice cold jar of mayonnaise. No, she's not, and none of those things happen. What there is, though, in this ad is a
Cynthia,
fat
please
woman.
no.
Fat woman who, in the narrative, rejects society's constraints on her and improves her situation, alleviates harm because of it. And for Think Before You Sleep, that story on its face amounts to pro-junk food propaganda. A fat person is in a commercial and they aren't running on a treadmill while eating celery, so that makes it a pro-obesity commercial. But you know, let's play along here, right? Let's just entertain his point here and say, okay, a fat woman accepting herself in an ad, you know, it's a stretch, but maybe it does cause some people to accept their fatness in a way that harms them. After all, being fat is generally considered unhealthy in the medical field, so maybe this is contributing to the obesity epidemic through the normalization of being fat. So
Except
is this the
literally
case?
no
Does fat
studies.
representation make people fatter?
Except literally, it's the complete fucking opposite. Making people comfortable with the fact that they are fat, getting to the point, and I say this all the time, chat, but getting to the point where you're happy when you look in the mirror is going to make you way more likely to improve yourself in other ways. And, you know, get whatever body changes you want to get. When you look in the mirror and you're unhappy and you're upset and you feel ashamed and your cortisol levels spike, and you're ashamed of being fat, you're way more likely to struggle with weight loss. You have to accept where you are and be happy with where you are before you're able to improve it. Oh yeah, we're not even talking about medical bias either. We're not even talking about that.
Does limiting this representation contribute to any sort of health benefits? And, well, no. No, it doesn't. There's no evidence for that whatsoever. Not that Think Before You Sleep videos require any evidence, he's just talking. But the research actually shows that the opposite is true. Quoting from a meta-analysis here on the relationship between body image and body weight control, misperception and dissatisfaction with body weight are risk factors for participating in an unhealthy lifestyle and make it harder to follow a healthier lifestyle. Body image disturbance also made it more likely to underreport calorie intake.
Oh yeah.
Negative body image is also closely
Which is fucking killer, by the way, because you feel so ashamed that you ate that Oreo. You feel so ashamed that you ate those donuts that you're like, I only had like 1,200 calories today. It was fine, you know, because I would never break my calorie limit because you know, so really I haven't really eaten anything today. Which is normal. It's like your brain wants to be in a state of delusion because you're unhappy with where you are. But if you have a healthy relationship with food and the way that you look and your weight doesn't concern you, maybe you have that donut and you don't really care. And you're like, you know, I should go for a jog. I should go for a jog, or I should go for a swim. Honestly, the weather's pretty nice. It doesn't bother you. Whereas when you have that food and then you feel guilty and you feel bad, you're like, the like self-loathing kicks in. And then you eat the whole box and you stay at home.
To multiple different health problems, including things like depression and stress. Depression and stress are linked to weight gain and obesity. Ergo, having a negative body image does not help you lose weight. Oftentimes, it's the opposite. It helps you gain weight and it keeps you generally unhealthy. On top of this, in the same way that negative body image is bad for your health, positive body image is actually good for it. There's a study here, positive body image is positively associated with emotional and psychological and social well-being in British adults. Body appreciation significantly predicted all dimensions of well-being. Think Before You Sleep hates it when people are fat. He wants them to stop being fat. So he should actually love this Dove ad campaign. The campaign is promoting positive self-image, and positive self-image promotes health in a myriad of ways, which does include people maintaining healthier habits when it comes to eating. That's what he wants, right? The fact that he hates it demonstrates to me two things. One, that Think Before You Sleep is operating with military-grade media illiteracy, given how he so badly misinterpreted this animation, and two, that he doesn't actually care about fat people. He just doesn't want to see them in media. He doesn't want to see them at all. So he gets mad at the Dove ad instead of, you know, looking away, doing something else, which is, it's funny, you know, it's very funny. The final point I want to talk about today concerns the idea of sexualization. Think Before You Sleep doesn't like it when characters in games are wrongfully labeled as sexualized.
Había dos personajes, mujeres, nada más. Los dos eran dos personajes súper sexualizados. Y nada, eran las dos opciones que tenía para elegir.
Sorry, for some reason they had her speak Spanish even though she can speak English, but she said 2 female characters from a game that they never identified were oversexualized. Whatever that means, because they'll call Laura Croft hypersexualized for just standing there and doing nothing sexual.
So he doesn't think that Lara here is being
Oh my god. Oh my.
sexualized. Lara, it's spelled Lara, but I thought it was Laura. I don't know. His reasoning for that is that she's just standing there. Okay, so first off, does he think that a character needs to be butt naked and doing the splits in order to be sexualized? There are other factors that go into this definition beyond what a character is doing. In the case here, Laura is wearing short shorts and a tight crop top, revealing her legs and midriff.
Pancake flat midriff.
Laura is a character who shoots people and runs through the woods and shit. This outfit is clearly impractical for that purpose, but she's wearing
Also, go no further than quiet, dude. If you want to see characters that are over-sexualized for literally no reason.
it because she is being sexualized. The main thing with this example, though, is that Laura's body has proportions that are unrealistic in comparison with the vast majority of people. These proportions are considered sexually attractive and are thus created by the developers with the intent of appealing to the male gamer gaze. Those are the arguments in favor of the idea that this character is being sexualized. Okay, so now let's roll the next clip of this guy, what this guy's saying.
But I get it. Video games.
Sorry, this is...
Love you, Denims.
Thank you, Billy B. Thank you for 11 months. The designers even said that they made Quiet that way because they wanted to see the cosplayers. Yeah. No, there was a reason, Denims. It was horny. Yeah. And, like, the thing that's sad about it is the people who played the game and the people who are, like, Quiet simps, they're like,
Oh, she needs to breathe from her skin, actually. Okay, she needs to.
and then, like, Kojima is just like, no, I made her sexy like that because it made me horny. You guys thought it was from another? No, I don't care. I just thought it was hot. It was really sexy. Yeah. That was the only. Yeah. Or was Kojima about Nier? I'm pretty sure it was about both. That was Yoko? Okay, it might have been about Yoko. I'm pretty sure Kojima said that about Nier. Like 2B. Like literally, when the fucking developers and designers are telling you that they did it because they thought it was hot, just stop it, man. Just stop. Just stop. Just stop. Okay? I was looking into like the Chun-Li design when I was doing the cosplay and stuff. And I was like, oh, you know, like let me do some research and see the character and blah blah. I had to look at so many models. And I pulled this up. I pull up the Wikipedia. Okay, chat. This part was so fucking funny for me. Okay, here it is. Chun-Li was designed with exceptionally strong physique because she's the sole fighter, a sole woman among a roster of powerful male characters in Street Fighter 2. And then here, Chun-Li is particularly well known for her muscular legs, while the depiction of the rest of her body are more variable. According to Capcom composer Yoko Shimomura, Chun-Li's big thighs originated from Akiban's personal fetish.
DNMO change the Dragonov Chaos.
And then the original article, which is here. Let's open it up. He's kind of the cutest. Yeah, he's just napping. He's having a quick little nap. 1 second, load. This fucking Polygon article is like loading indefinitely. Maybe the archived version of it will work. Will load faster. Oh, here it is. Oh, here it is. Chun-Li has big thighs, right? So back in the day, I asked Mr. Yasuda, why does she have such big thighs? And he started shouting and he went off and was like, I can't believe you don't understand the appeal. He started explaining the attraction. And, you know, I'm a woman, so I asked the question, but it got kind of awkward when he started explaining his fetishes. I mean, he has really strong feelings towards his creation. There's a reason for everything being the way that it is. When I heard that, I thought maybe that's just something everybody thinks. But everybody doesn't go out telling everyone, but he just told me. And then, like, 1 second, hold up. The next section of this, which is even better. The size of her thighs massively increased in Street Fighter 3. I witnessed her thighs made a sudden jump into gigantism in Street Fighter 3 when we put her in the game. Her sprite was just an outline and her thighs weren't that big, but as the artist started coloring her in, her thighs got thicker and thicker. However, they all felt the larger legs increased the expressiveness of her animations. Regarding then upcoming Street Fighter 4, Ono said that the character designer is kind of into thick girls. So as an artist, he feels that the most beautiful thighs he can give Chun-Li would be of the wide variety. It's like, dude, sometimes the characters are just the way that they are because they make other people horny, okay? All right, that's it. The wide variety. It's literally that simple, man. Bro, just like me, for real. Ahead of his time. Respectfully, he just like me, for real. But anyways, yeah. Okay, back to the video.
Sexualize women way too much. Let's see how Dove intends to remedy this problem. Well, that's one way to start. We have a woman here who was fully covered up, who then changed into something that was more revealing. She basically is in the same outfit that Lara Croft was in.
So he takes Dove to task here for sexualizing this character, Cynthia, because she's showing more skin, immediately after crying about how this isn't sexualized. Do you notice anything here about anything related to skin? He's showing it, a bunch of it. His definition of sexualization here has changed. To him, this is sexualized, but this isn't? Look, all she's doing is sitting there.
For just standing there and doing nothing sexual.
That doesn't make any sense. It does, though, when you realize that his definition is entirely dependent on whether or not it helps his argument. A major theme of this ad is that Cynthia is closer to this body type, but is required to wear armor that squeezes her into this body type. The armor is the sexualized one, dude. Please, I beg of you, go take a media literacy course. God, my God. Okay, the last part with this is real weird, so go ahead and strap in. It concerns the framing of one of the shots from the animation, and Think Before You Sleep has certain feelings about this shot.
Let's see what's next. So now we have a bent over ass shot that is center of the
I'm sorry. Calm down. Oh my God, the delusion is crazy. The delusion is just insane. Yeah, that's a bent over ass shot. Woman standing. Oh yeah. You fucking whore. You slut. Bending over. Giving us an ass shot.
the frame that adds nothing to the story. They went full-on anime camera angles, and somehow they're going to claim that it's not an attempt at sexualizing the character.
Buddy, you're real worked up. You gotta relax. When Think Before You Sleep sees this shot here, to him, it's the same as this shot here. Now, do we notice anything different about these two shots? Well, the anime shot is just one thing. It's someone's butt, it's a low angle of a skirt, and it's a, very sexualized. That's all that's in the frame. But the shot of Cynthia has other information in it. Namely, it shows her standing between two posters of herself in the armor. Now, this is up for interpretation, of course, but my reading of it is that she's constrained and sandwiched in the frame between these posters, just like the armor constrains and sandwiches her body. And so when she leaves, she's breaking away from it or something. But even if Think Before You Sleep wanted to have an accurate reading of this shot, he wouldn't be able to, because when he looks at this shot, all he sees is this. He's so worked up about seeing a woman from behind that his brain fails to render the rest of the frame, causing him to miss some
POV, you are thinking before you sleep.
key information that would help him interpret this image more accurately. He blames Dove for this somehow, which is amazing, but it's also a great example of how sexualization works. He watched the ad and got to this frame, and instead of taking it all in and looking at it objectively, he looks right at Cynthia's ass and doesn't see anything else. Truly just wild stuff, and a pretty interesting example of a self-report. You gotta calm down when you're making videos. You gotta go outside, take a walk, come back in when you're ready. Okay, so those are all the arguments I wanted to look at today in the video. Let me know what you thought of this. You know, I had fun looking at these and breaking them down.
That was very funny. I love watching this guy get roasted, bro. I love watching this guy get roasted. Bro needs to look at some real ass. I know, right? He spent way too much time on that video. He was bricked up, clearly. Clearly.